I have quite a few furnace and AC fixing videos, and on those videos, one of the most frequent comments that I get is, "Hey Jay, where can I order HVAC parts, or where can I buy HVAC parts?" Or an even more important question, where can I find out that the part that I'm getting is going to fit my model of furnace? So that's what I'm going to try to tackle in this video, and really there's only two options. Either you're going to try to buy it locally, or you're going to buy it online. Of course, if it's really cold or if it's really hot outside, then you want to try to get it fast, so you're going to try to go locally. The only downside with locally is that many HVAC appliance stores or HVAC parts store, appliance parts stores, they're only going to sell HVAC parts to contractors, or if you're working for a contractor. They won't sell to regular homeowners. So a lot of companies are like that. People tend to run into that a lot. And in that case, you really have no option if nobody's going to be selling them to you but to go online. But there are appliance parts shops that do sell parts to homeowners without being a contractor. So if you can track one down like that, that's great. One thing I would advise, something that I do all the time, before I go somewhere, I always give them a call first and ask if they have that part. Otherwise, you come over there and they say, "Oh yeah, we have this part, but oops, it's out of stock. We can order it, it'll be here in 3 days." Well, in that case, you're probably just better off ordering it online anyway. So if you can afford to wait a couple of days, or maybe you're just shopping online for a better deal, usually you will find a better deal online, then definitely shopping online is the way to go. Now, tracking down the part or the right part for your furnace can be a little tricky, and some websites are more friendly than others, and I'm going to kind of go over all of those today. There's a bunch of HVAC stores out there, online HVAC stores that sell online HVAC parts. A lot of them seem kind of fishy to me, and lately, seriously, every time I check it, it seems like there's more and more and more of them out there. It's almost like weeds popping out. There's just HVAC stores all over the place now. But there are a few that are trusted sites. I mean, obviously, Amazon is a trusted site. Then there's eBay, Repair Clinic. That's a big one, and they actually have a lot of parts as well, and that website is just really user-friendly. But anyways, before I continue, let me just hop on my computer, and instead of just telling you all this, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you and show you how to track down parts. If you're sitting at home at your computer, you will need to know the model of your furnace or your air conditioner, or if you can get a part number off of it, that would make it even easier. A lot of times parts, like let's say the control board for example, it'll have a bunch of numbers on it, and none of them will say PN for part number or P, so you have to just kind of go with trial and error. Go to some website and start plugging those numbers in and seeing if anything pops out as a result. A lot of times it's going to come out with 0 results. So just keep trying the numbers until you hit the part number. I used to think that I know which one is the part number on those control boards, but it turns out I don't. Every board is different. You just have to keep trying the numbers. So what I like to do is to just take a picture of that control board and all the numbers on that board and then go do my research. Motors and other smaller parts, they're usually easier to find the little part number on them. But if you can't find the part number, that's okay. It's actually pretty simple to find it using the model number as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So here's my computer screen, and to save you some Googling time, I tried to go through a bunch of those HVAC parts stores online and weed out all the ones that are obviously no good. They're not going to get you anywhere. These are the only ones that are semi-legit, the ones on this list right here. I'll also add them to my description, so if you want to visit them to try to shop around for your part, you could do that. And one thing I want to point out is that many sites do not offer parts for all furnace or AC brands. They usually just go with like 1 or 2 or 3 brands, and that's it. Very few sites will actually have parts for all of them. So of course, Amazon.com is the best website to use just because of the sheer volume of product that goes through that site. They just have the most stuff on there, so the chances of you being able to find your part are a lot higher. eBay.com, RepairClinic.com is good too. You can just put in a model number, and it shows you all the different parts that you can get for that model that they have available. So that's a cool site too. And really, I've only personally used the first 3 right here for myself to order parts. All of these other ones I have not used, and to be honest, some of them look a little bit fishy, and I would kind of scratch my head before putting my credit card information on these sites. I mean, they might be trusted and everything, but I have not personally used them myself, so I'm not sure. But they do look legit, so I added them to the list. And then if I scroll up on my little notepad here, let's go with this example right here. This is a 80% Lennox 2003. Here's the model number. So how would we go about, let's say, looking for an inducer motor. Let's say I'm needing a new inducer motor for this Lennox furnace, 2003. So I'll copy this model number. And let's just try shopping around for it, starting with Repair Clinic. This is one of the few sites where it lets you search by the model number, which is awesome. So if I paste my model number in there, it pops out right on the bottom right here. So they do have this model. I'll click on that. And they have 5 pages of parts for this model of a furnace, which is pretty awesome. So you start going through it. You know, there's the flame sensor, furnace gasket. That's probably for the inducer motor. You got the igniter, transformer, door switch, flame rollout switch, limit switch, etc., etc. They have the burner tube assembly. So all kinds of parts. I mean, you're probably going to be able to find your part that you need here. And another cool thing that Repair Clinic does, you know, if you want to shop around, it gives you the genuine OEM part number as well. So for example, if I copy, before I copy that, let's just go to Amazon.com. And try pasting my model number in Amazon and seeing if I get any results. And I got 2 results, but they're absolutely useless. As you can see, there's nothing there. So on Amazon, you do have to know which part you need. You have to have the part number to be able to find the part. So for example, let's see. This Lennox furnace burner tube assembly on Repair Clinic is $81. If I copy that number, 58L69, and post it into Amazon, chances are Amazon will have it too. There you go, main burner with 5 burner tubes. It's $102 on Amazon, $123. So they have 2 suppliers that supply it, and surprisingly, they're both more expensive than Repair Clinic. So in this case, you'd be better off going with Repair Clinic. But let's just try eBay as well. See if eBay has anything. eBay usually has longer ship times though, so you know, if you need the part quick, eBay's probably not the way to go. So paste the part number into eBay, and there it is. Look at that. On eBay, the same burner assembly is $40 plus $9 shipping. So almost half price. If you want to save some money, you can definitely buy this on eBay. You got another burner tube right here. This one only has 4 burners though. $55, free shipping. And that's it. Now we're going into pajamas. Which, you know, if you're cold at home, your furnace isn't working, I can see the correlation there. So let's just try one more part. Instead of the burner assembly, let's try, you know, igniter and flame sensor. Those are all pretty easy. Usually the harder ones to track down are going to be the control boards. So let's find us a control board. Look at that. They even have the heat exchanger. $881. That's the most expensive part. You got the blower motor. And you know what? Let's just look up the blower motor. Holy smokes. Look at this blower motor. This is a variable speed blower motor. This thing actually costs more than the heat exchanger of the furnace. Those are some expensive motors right there. So that comes with the motor and the little computer module that goes over it. That is expensive. You know what? Let's try to look up this one on different sites. So it's almost 900. It's basically $950 on Repair Clinic. Let's see if we can find it cheaper on Amazon or eBay. And you know, all those sites that I listed before, that whole list of sites, you can also, you know, copy and paste this part number into all of those sites as well. and see if you can get a better deal on there. But for now, I'm just using Amazon and eBay. And it looks like Amazon does not have that motor. I mean, obviously that's not a motor. And this, who knows what that is. Armstrong, whatever. Let's see if eBay has it. Probably not. But let's just see. It does. Look at that. 1 horsepower Lennox variable speed motor. And on eBay, it's $500 plus $18 shipping. If you click on that, let's open that up. Let's see if they have returns. And they do have returns. Returns accepted. So it's almost half price. And if it doesn't work, you can return it. You got 30 days. So that's the nice thing about eBay. If you want to save some money, you can definitely find stuff that's way discounted compared to all the other sites. Well, guys, and I can spend all day looking up parts, but long story short, you're just going to need to find some website where you can use the model number to find all the parts or the parts list for that furnace, and then find the part number that you need, and with that part number, you can start shopping around on different websites. Now, if you can't find anything, then you can take the part that you're trying to replace and find a part number on that part. And using that part number, start going to all those websites and plugging in that number to try to find that part. But honestly, sometimes that's actually kind of hard to do, and tracking down those parts is very hard. I made it look easy, how I was looking stuff up, but it's usually not that easy. Which is why I want to show you the easiest method of how to track down the part that you need so that you can buy it online. And this method is really simple. Let's go back to my computer. Let's go to Google. And what we're going to type in is, regardless of where you live, if you have a Google account, if you ever use Google, Google probably knows your location, where you live. So you can simply type in appliance parts store near me and see what it gives you. And usually, here you go, it'll have a list like this of different appliance stores that are near you. I live in Minnesota by the Twin Cities area, so as you can see, all these different appliance stores pop out. So what you got to do with this information, oh look at that, we even have right here, top 10 best appliance parts stores in Minneapolis. Nice, on Yelp.com. So lots of options there. So this is what I like to do. Once I have those appliance parts stores, like I was saying, not all of them will sell to homeowners, only to contractors, and you can call them and find this out. And also, these parts stores, they have databases that they can use to easily and quickly track down the part that you need, and all they need is the model number on your furnace, and that's enough. So I want to give you an example of that. For example, let's call Tony's Appliance. To be honest, I've never shopped there, and as far as I know, they do more white goods and water heaters than HVAC. But let's just give them a call. Let's just give them a call and see. So I'm going to call them up right now. In fact, I'll put it on speaker. Oops, I accidentally clicked on it. So you can hear how the conversation goes, just so I can give you an example of how you'd go about trying to get the right part number. So right now I'm calling Tony's Appliance right here, the first one on the list. I'm avoiding Sears because it says add right here. I don't really like calling anything that says add. So here it goes. Here's my model number right here.
Tony's Appliance.
Hey there, I was just wondering if you sell HVAC parts.
We could. What are you looking for?
Would you be able to look up an inducer motor if I give you a model number off a furnace?
I would need model and serial number.
Model and serial number. And
Correct.
if I only have the model number, you can't?
Right, because we don't carry those here, so we have to call our vendor, and they always ask for model and serial number.
Okay, gotcha. I will have to call you back then. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, you're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so they do sell HVAC parts, but they also need the serial number. And when I was looking at this furnace, I really should have gotten that serial number as well. I didn't. So let's skip Tony's appliance. Let's go to the next one, which is Day Distributing. Right here. Let's call these guys up. And see if we can find our part number with them. Using just the model number.
How can I help?
I'm just looking for a Lennox inducer motor for a furnace. Could you look it up using just the model number?
I may be able to do that. What's that model number?
The model number is George 60 Umbrella Hotel Victor dash 60 Charlie dash 110 dash 02.
Are you looking for the entire motor or the whole assembly or?
Yep, the inducer motor assembly.
Found a number, however, it's coming up as a special order, so I'm seeing if there's maybe a compatible.
Uh-huh. And do you think you could give me the part number just so I can take just look at a picture and make sure that it at least looks the same?
Well, the first one that I came up with was 43 Whiskey H5.
Okay.
Second one I came up with here is Alpha 210. Again, still looking for one that we might have in stock somewhere.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I am not feeling lucky today. The only other number I'm finding here is 27 Mary 13. Every single one is a special order item.
Gotcha.
All three of those numbers, special orders. None of them are stock items at this time. No store has them. And once they're ordered, they cannot be canceled or returned. Least expensive one was the Alpha 210. That one was retail price of $299.58 plus tax.
And that was the cheapest one.
That was the least expensive one, yes.
Gotcha. Okay, I will think about it and maybe call you back later. Thank you.
Sure. Good luck.
Bye.
Thanks for the call. Bye.
So there you have it. I basically told her I need the inducer motor assembly and asked her for the part number, and most of them will give you the part number. So their cheapest one that they found was this part number right here, A210, and their price for it was $299.58, which is a special order that you cannot return. And I just want to point out that before you call any of these places, make sure that you know the proper name of the part that you're looking for. If you're not sure what that part's name is, I have a video of furnace parts and functions where I go through every single furnace part and explain, what it is, what it's called, and what it does. So if you need a video like that, I have one like that, so watch that before you give them a call. But once you figure out which part you need, you can call them up like I did, and they should be able, using just the model or the model and serial, look up the right part for you. So for example, we have a A210, right? Let's copy that, A210. And by the way, right here in parentheses, I just left myself a note so I don't forget. You can also try narrowing it down by using the beginning part of the model number. What I mean by that is, if you're searching around online using other websites, sometimes the full model number will not give you any results. But if you use, let's say, the first portion of the model number, like up to here, or maybe up to here, then it might actually come up and show you something. And then the part that model number has matches exactly what you're looking for. This right here usually means, like revision number 2. after the original launch of the furnace. So depending on what part you have, that might not affect you at all. That's what this little note was all about. So let's erase that. Go back to my part shopping. So these are the 3 part numbers that I got for that Lennox inducer motor. Let's try copying the A210. Go to Amazon. Type in Lennox A210. Amazon has nothing. Let's try eBay. Copy that. Lennox A210. And look at that. eBay has a couple of them. And with eBay, I mean, generally you're pretty safe just going by the picture. If the motor looks exactly like the one that you have, the wires, the plug, the motor, the housing, everything looks the same, then chances are that's exactly what you're looking for. Most of them do have returns, unlike what I was told, by the parts store I just called. And it's $168 plus $16 shipping, whereas that one was $299, basically $300. So once again, eBay doesn't fail. It's almost half the price. That's why I love eBay. I still shop on eBay. And just out of curiosity, let's try the next one, which is repairclinic.com. These guys have a ton of parts, so I wouldn't be surprised if they have it too. Lennox A210. So I get 25,000 results. So obviously something wrong there. Let's try Lennox inducer motor A210. Still 2,000 results. So not as friendly, but you could probably still find it on here. You would just have to do a little bit more digging. So you'd probably be better off just going by the model number on Repair Clinic instead of trying to go with the part number to find the right part that you need. And just so you know, there's parts that substitute. Perhaps the original inducer motor is no longer available. In that case, they might have some universal motors or drop-ins that might work instead of that one. So that's another good reason to call a place like that, some appliance parts store. They'll be able to tell you which motor can fit the model number that you gave them. And it's a great way to go and great way to make sure that you're getting the right part that you need for your furnace. Well guys, and I kind of feel like I'm taking way too much time explaining this, but long story short, if you want to go local, if you want to go and find the part, make sure you can Google it like I showed you. Google the appliance parts stores and give them a call first. Make sure that they sell to homeowners. Usually, if I call them up and I ask them for a furnace part, if they don't sell to homeowners, they'll ask you right away, are you a contractor? Which company do you work for? And questions like that. And as you saw, Day Distributing, they didn't ask me any of that, which means they do sell to homeowners. If you're not sure, you can just, point blank ask them, hey, do you sell to homeowners or only to contractors? So once you confirm that they sell to homeowners, if you're a homeowner, then you can go to that store. But before you go there, make sure you ask them, hey, this is my model number or this is the part number that I need, and confirm that they have it before you make a drive all the way there just to find out that they don't. So call around before you go somewhere. If you're shopping locally, if you're shopping online, first of all, you're going to have to figure out which part number that you need. And then after you get the part number, with the model numbers, you can use all those different sites. Repair Clinic is good. Or you can call, like I did, call an appliance parts store near you. Not because you're going to go there, but just because you want to get a part number. After you get that part number. So let's just summarize without all this confusing stuff. To get the accurate part online, you need to get the part number. So one way or another, you're going to have to get that part number, and then you can shop around using different websites to get the best deal. And if you were watching this video, I showed you a few different ways of how you can do that. And there's plenty of resources, websites that you can use, and I'll go ahead and link those in the description as well. Unfortunately, all good things come to an end. That is all I had. This was a little harder to film than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be pretty easy to explain, but maybe I'm just not used to recording my screen on the computer and talking at the same time. But nonetheless, I hope you found this video useful. If you have experience with ordering parts online for your HVAC systems, your furnace, or your AC, you have experience tracking parts down, or maybe you know of some good websites that I did not mention, or some methods to find these part numbers and these model numbers, get the right parts that you need for your furnace, anything that I did not mention in this video, or any other pointers, or maybe some corrections to what I said, please do let us know in the comments below. I thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to mash that like button on the way out, and we'll see you next time. And if you're still here and not in the comment section below, did you know that Russia has some of the best pickpocketers in the world? They're really good at stealing. Just a fun fact. But actually, I have a good joke for you. So the Japanese, they created a robot that can catch thieves before they rob a bank, which was a pretty wild invention. So they tested this robot out at a couple of banks in Japan. And in the first month, those robots caught 20 thieves. The Japanese were really impressed. They're like, wow, we got ourselves a winner. So they sent these robots over to America, test them over there. So they test them in America. In 1 month, these robots caught 50 thieves that were about to rob a bank. Now everybody's impressed. You know, they're thinking, oh man, we got ourselves a good product. So they go to the ultimate test. They send these things to Russia. And in Russia, in a month, all the robots got stolen.